Hi everyone, Danny Quinto, Talk Wellness of the Blue Zones Wellness and Longevity Movement. Or in other words, Healthy Living Movement. I'd like to welcome all my friends who are here right now in this webinar, Wellness Webinar. Rudy, there's James, there's Charles, there's Evan, Almi, there's Teddy, Nora, Lisa, uh, online friend, and good friends everywhere. And we hope that they can come in later on, my other friends. And for this episode, let me talk to you about one of the most important things that can impact your life, all areas of your life, whether it's in business, it's in your family, it's in your religion, it's in your career, in whatever thing that you do, it impacts your life. Now, nowadays, during this quarantine period, we see a lot of our friends, they're into webinars about hydroponics, how to do hydroponics, gardening, cooking, baking, network marketing, and all of those things that people want to join with in all of these webinars. But let me tell you, one of the most important things that you must really learn to do and to act and to do it well every day is definitely on your diet. Because even if you are wealthy, you have a lot of money, you have lots of businesses, and you know a lot of things. But if you're not healthy, believe me or not, you won't be wealthy too long. And so let's focus our attention basically on our diet for this episode. Now, what is the one important food that you can eat every day which will contribute to a very positive degree on your health and in your wellness? Now, think about it. Now, if your answer is fruits, then we are on the same wavelength. Because fruits is one of the most, or it might be the most important food that you can take daily, which impacts directly on your health and in your wellness. Now let me share with you my screen. Let's do that. Okay. Go here, right there. The most important food you can and must eat daily is basically fruit, right? Okay. Now a short background before we go into that. Now, Dr. Alan Walker, an anthropologist, did a research way back 1979. He found out that our early ancestors mostly ate fruit. Now, how did he find that out? Now, what he did was to look into the striations or markings in our teeth. Now, by looking into that, he can actually predict whether that person who died many, many years ago was a meat eater or a fruit eater or a vegetable eater or combination of all of those. Now, he found out that from the hominids up to Homo erectus, which is a long, long span of time, they were mostly fruit eaters. And you know what? People who lived then lived for long periods of time. If you look into our good book, the patriarchs, they lived for hundreds of years. And so let's look into their secret, can we? Now, before we do that, let me give you a brief background on myself. I have been eating fruits for the last 25 or more years. It started when I read a book called Fit for Life by Harvey Diamond. And it blew my mind literally because he was saying right there that fruit is the most important food that we can eat, and for many reasons. Now, let me share with you what are some of those reasons and the advantages of eating fruit. Now, basically, fruit, when it's fully digested and it's useful already, is a form of sugar, which we call fructose. Now, number one advantage of fruit eating, it is has high water content. Now, why do you want high water content? Well, basically, if it has a lot of water there, then definitely it aids in detoxification. Okay? And since our body is composed of 80 to more than 80% of water, then definitely fruit qualifies as one of the most important food that you can eat. Now, the second one, it is very high in fiber content. Now, why would we need fiber? Well, very basic. It also aids in elimination. Now, there are basically two kinds of food that we can eat that has both water and fiber. The first one, the best actually, is fruit, and the other one is vegetable. And so if we can eat those regularly every day, especially fruits, then you will be detoxified every day, which makes you very healthy and very well. Now, number three advantage, it contains all of the minerals, the carbohydrates, the minerals, and the proteins that the body needs. And so it satisfies all of the basic requirements for a healthy body. Now, many times they ask me, proteins, are you sure? Of course, I have to tell them that fruits contain protein. Now, when you talk of protein, you're basically talking of amino acids. And believe it or not, fruits and vegetables, they contain all the amino acids that your body needs, including the 8 or so essential amino acids. Okay, now number 4, and I'm sure our ladies would be very interested in this. Now, it helps greatly in weight loss, and I would assure you, permanent weight loss. When I was in high school, I weighed around 115 pounds. That was a long time ago. I'm now 69 years old, but I feel my biological age is actually closer to 40. But way back when I was in high school, I weighed around 115 pounds. Now, believe it or not, I weigh right now more or less very near there. I weigh from 113 to 115. And one of the reasons why I still weigh the same weight as when I was in high school is because I eat fruits early in the morning. Okay, somebody's calling? All right. Now, the other advantage of eating fruits is cleansing. I've already mentioned that a while ago. When you eat food that has water and fiber, it just means that you are detoxified every day. It cleanses your colon, it cleanses the other systems of the body, and it makes sure by doing that that your body is clean and is going to be very healthy. Many of the things that contribute to our illness is actually because of a very dirty colon and toxins that stay in our body. But if we eat fruits, now basically they're very healthy, natural, and if you're talking of toxins, basically there are no toxins that you have in food. Most of the toxins that we eat come from the processed food that we take regularly. Number 6 is, did you know that it takes less energy to eat fruit than all of the other things that we eat? Now, why? Did you know that the food that we eat, they have different rates of digestion? For example, the easiest to digest is actually fruits. It leaves your stomach from 15 to 30 minutes, and 1 hour is the longest time. From there, it passes on to the intestines for further digestion and then for assimilation so that it can be distributed to all parts of the body. The second to it is a little bit far off. That would be vegetables, and it would take 2 hours to be there in your stomach for digestion, and later on, it goes to the intestines for further digestion. Now, the hard food that's very hard to digest are actually meat and meat products. And that would include those kinds of food that have very little water content, like nuts. So it takes a lot of time that they stay in our stomach. Now, when they stay in our stomach, what does the body do? Well, basically, it needs energy to digest all of those things. And so you can see right there that because of the little time that the fruit stays in our stomach, it uses very minimal energy. So that energy is then rechanneled into the things that we can do every day. Now, I found out that during the time up to now that I eat fruits only in the morning, I have very high energy. I feel very light and I have energy, especially early in the morning. Did you know that the best time to eat fruits is actually from 4 in the morning to 12 noon? And that is right smack during breakfast. That's the best time. First thing in the morning on an empty stomach is the correct way of eating fruit. And then 7, definitely it prevents a lot of illnesses because toxicity and all the things that clog our blood vessels are the cause of many of the diseases that today, especially chronic and even degenerative diseases. And so when you eat fruits in the morning, every day on an empty stomach, I'll guarantee you that you can prevent a lot of illnesses. When I was a lot younger, many years ago, whenever I developed a respiratory disease, it would take me more than a week to recover my strength and my energy and to recover from that illness. But right now, I can tell you, it will just take me 1 or 2 days. And even during that time, I'd still feel energized and I'd still be going out every day. So those are basically the advantages of eating fruits every day. Okay, now let's look at the structure of fruits. What does it contribute to the basic food nutrients that we need in our body? For example, carbohydrates and glucose. That's where all of the energy comes from, right? When we eat carbohydrates. Now, fruits, they contain as high as 90% of glucose. And glucose is our energy. You have to understand. Now, 4 to 5% is amino acids. This is the building block of proteins. So fruits contain amino acids. 3 to 4% of minerals because we need those minerals. And then 1% of fatty acids and also 1% of vitamins. And so there is one food in the world today that satisfies all of those percentages. And that food is fruit. Wow. And so as you look at it, there's no food actually that approximates what the what food can give to our body by way of health. Okay, so basically, fruit is the nature's secret to health, to energy, because it takes very less energy to digest food, and that energy is converted right away. It travels fast into the intestines and later on is assimilated. And so for a short period of time, you can get all of that energy already for your daily needs, right? And another one is you can maintain your normal weight. Now I can tell you, if you have problems of obesity and you want to lower your weight, your problems on that, the best thing you can do actually is to eat fruits. Instead of going to all those fad diets, After some time, those pounds, they come back. But if you eat fruits and do it religiously and make sure that for many years, it's what you're going to do, you won't have any problems on your weight, as I have experienced. I've told you that already. Now, longevity. Now, did you know that eating fruits and additionally vegetables is one of the characteristics of people who live very long in areas called the blue zones? That includes Okinawa in Japan, Icaria in Greece, Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, Sardinia in Italy, and Loma Linda in California. So when you go into those areas, as researched by a National Geographic researcher named Dan Boykner, you will see a great percentage of people who live to 80, 90, 100 and more years. And one of their habits, it has already become a culture actually, is they eat a lot of fruits and they eat a lot of vegetables. Of course, they eat some processed food, they eat some meat, but very sparingly, very minimal. So a lot of the diet is actually plant foods, especially vegetables and fruits. And lastly, beauty. You know what? If you eat fruits, I guarantee you that you have very good skin. Okay? And I think that's very good news, especially for the ladies. Now, for those who eat a lot of meat and add meat products and processed food, at some point in time, your skin will not do good. But if you eat fruits, even when you do exercises, you smell good. Even your sweat, there's basically no odor into it. And so it contributes a lot to longevity, to normal weight, to energy, to health, and also to beauty. And so basically that's nature's secret that we are sharing with you today. And I would say, my good friends, that for today, I would ask of you to decide to eat fruits because it is the one thing that impacts very strongly on your health and your wellness. So from 4 in the morning to 12 noon, eat fruits. Fruits for breakfast. And when you eat them, make sure that there's nothing there in your stomach. So it's the first thing that comes into your stomach. So thank you for listening. Please, when this is uploaded in YouTube, please subscribe to it, share it also with your friends so they will know something about the most important food that they can eat daily. Okay? Stay safe, be well, and stay tuned to our next episode. This is Danny Quinto, Doc Wellness, Blue Zones, Wellness and Longevity, Healthy Living Movement. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.